No one expected Annie to speak. Not today, not like this. Cameras rolled, studio lights hummed, and an entire nation leaned closer to their screens as she sat opposite the host, shoulders straight, eyes tired, and shining with unshed tears. The host took a breath. "Annie, viewers have noticed Ben's long absence. You asked for this interview. What's really happening?" For a heartbeat, Annie didn't speak. She looked down at her clasped hands, steadying herself. Then, softly, but with the strength of someone holding back a storm, she began. People see Ben on screen and think they know him, but they've never seen the battles he fights when the cameras turn off. A stunned silence swallowed the studio. For years in this fictional world, Ben Shephard had held the title of the nation's favorite TV personality. Charming, energetic, professional to the core. But the truth, Annie explained, was far more complicated. Ben has always carried the world on his shoulders. He works harder than anyone I've ever known, and he rarely lets anyone see how much pressure he's under. The host leaned closer. Pressure from what? Annie gave a faint, bittersweet smile. From perfection. From wanting to be the man people needed him to be. She told the story no one had heard, the secret side of the man viewers thought they knew. The private Ben. At home, Ben wasn't the golden presenter with the perfect smile. He was the one who set 3 alarms to avoid oversleeping after 2 hours of rest. He was the man who carried scripts into bed and rehearsed under the covers so he wouldn't wake her. He was the one who pushed through exhaustion because he never wanted to disappoint anyone. He'd come home after filming, Annie continued, collapse into the sofa, take a deep breath, and then ask me if he did well. He always needed that reassurance. To the public, Ben was unshakable. To Annie, he was human. The breaking point. Then came the moment she could no longer stay silent. One evening, after a particularly long shoot, Ben sat at the dinner table, eating in silence. Halfway through, he dropped his fork. His hand was shaking. Annie looked at him. "Ben, when did you last rest?" He tried to laugh it off, like he always did, but this time the laugh never came. He looked at her with tired eyes and whispered, "I'm scared to stop, because if I do, people will forget me." Viewers in the studio gasped. Annie blinked hard, holding back emotion. Imagine being loved by millions and still feeling alone. Weeks passed. Ben pushed on. The show continued. The smiles continued. But behind the scenes, Annie saw the toll. The sleepless nights, the anxiety he masked with jokes, the exhaustion that no audience could see. Finally, she confronted him. "Ben, you can't live like this." He looked at her vulnerable in a way he never let the world see. "Then tell them," he whispered. "Tell them who I really am." And so she did. The interview that broke the internet. The host swallowed. "Annie, why reveal this now?" She exhaled. "Because he needs support, not as the celebrity on screen, but as the man behind the spotlight. And I can't carry the weight of his silence any longer." The studio audience sat motionless. Even the crew members had stopped what they were doing. Annie looked straight into the camera. "If you love Ben, let him rest. Let him breathe. Let him be human." Her voice wavered. "He's given the world so much. Now he needs the world to give something back. Patience." The final words. As the camera zoomed out, the host said nothing. There was nothing to say. Millions watched in stunned silence. Not because of scandal, not because of gossip, but because Annie had peeled back the curtain and shown the heart of a man the world thought they understood. And for the first time, viewers truly saw Ben Shephard. Not the flawless TV personality, but the human being who kept smiling even when life made it hardest.